everyone, today I wanted to discuss the importance of multimodal literacy and the use of graphic novels in the classroom setting. In this PK project, I will be highlighting the features of graphic novels and will discuss the implementation of a graphic novel unit of study. I'll also be making note of the many fors and arguments of graphic novels we see in the educational world. Graphic novels are a multimodal text ensemble that combine both text and image. The format of the graphic novel mimics that of a comic book. Because these texts hold so many various design elements, students must develop strategies for understanding what particular elements mean in these graphic novels. What is the difference between a graphic novel and a comic book? A comic book is extended over time, while a graphic novel is one single narrative. This type of multimodal ensemble really questions the readers to think about, how the meaning is forwarded through not only the written language, but also the different elements of art. It's suggested that educators establish a baseline visual literacy skill prior to reading graphic novels. That visual literacy is that ability to critically read, interpret the text, and relay the content, whether that's through a story or an argument or a thought. We can also do this through images or visual messages. Visual literacy assesses a student's ability to understand the symbolism within an image. So this can be done by having students look at advertisements like the ketchup one, or images. Students must understand that images can tell stories and broadcast information of all types. Panels, gutters, speech bubbles, and narrative boxes like that you see here in the image, and the punctuation are just a few of the many design features that students or the readers of graphic novels must understand as they dive into this particular type of text. Some of these things I didn't even know about before I started my research. Because graphic novels are sequential, the panels are actually used to keep the narrative sequences organized. The gutter element is often used in both the comic books and graphic novels to create those transitions. And these transitions can include anything from a change in scene or time. And then, like always, speech bubbles are used throughout the novels to showcase the dialogue. Various combinations of lettering and punctuation can create different moods across the narrative. So capital letters could inform the reader that the character is yelling, like the picture you see here, or placing emphasis or importance on what they're saying. Images have to relate to each other in order to create a storyline. That sequential art is created when those images are sequenced. Frank Serafini outlines the graphic novel unit study, and he also highlights activities that require students to generate captions and dialogues, create storyboards like the one you see here, and experiment with onomatopoeias, and those are just a few of those immersive lesson experiences. Culminating projects can give students the opportunity to test those skills and knowledge that they've learned throughout the unit. Creating a class graphic novel or a little comic strip can give those students that opportunity to demonstrate really what they learned. And they can also work closely with a cartoonist or an art teacher to really practice those various art techniques that are demonstrated in graphic novels. When students are passionate about a particular subject or topic, they're more inclined to read. That inclination in reading and the passion for the topic at hand will improve the students' reading skills. It will improve their ability if they're actually excited to read. And graphic novels can actually, help out those English language learners. They can give them that material to practice that critical analysis in their literacy and language development. So even though, graphic novels do have simplified sentences and visuals, that gives them the ability to put those context clues to use and allow them to comprehend the text. There are many pros and cons when it comes to the use of graphic novels in the classroom settings, and this is all opinion-based, but some people feel that graphic novels are too closely related to comic books or are only about superheroes. But today, comic books and graphic novels actually have taken large steps to actually tailor to many other interests over the years, and in more recent times, tailored to a lot of girls. Another common negative connotation given to graphic novels is that they simply have too many pictures or are too easy to read. And some critics actually believe that graphic novels pose a childlike format. But actually, contrary to the belief, the graphic novels create high-quality discussions among readers and can provide students with that opportunity to connect to a multimodal text. Graphic novels are multimodal ensembles that hold literary and artistic value. In order to sway those educators against that implementation of graphic novels, they must build an understanding and appreciation for this type of ensemble. And many are reluctant to use or admit to never using them before, and that's just because they're unfamiliar with that type of text. If students are forced to read material they have little to no interest in, the student will likely resent reading. And on the other hand, if students do not feel forced to read a text, they are more likely to be motivated to read. If I were to place a book that looks similar to a comic book in front of a student, naturally, their intrinsic motivation would kick in and they'd actually dive into the text. Whether the student is struggling or a reluctant reader, an above grade level reader or below, all students can benefit and participate from the discussion that surrounds a graphic novel. Graphic novels can actually be favored by all types of learning styles. Auditory learners, visual learners, tactile learners, kinesthetic learners are just a few of those learners that can benefit. Teachers have reported more student enjoyment, motivation, and an increase in visual literacy when students actually read graphic novels. The culminating projects that Serafini had mentioned in his unit study on graphic novels is just the tip of the iceberg that includes all of the opportunities that students can use and have to create. Although not all educators feel the same way in regards to graphic novels, it is important to note that graphic novels do have many positive effects in the classroom with students of all ages. Graphic novels have the ability to assist students in building subconscious learning strategies. Students can also use graphic novels to practice that deductive reasoning and those inferring skills. It is important that students of all ages gain experiences in school that can be reflected outside of school. The world is super visually dominant, and having that grasp on visual literacy will in turn allow students to look for meaning in images and multimodal ensembles they see. I hope to take this research today and apply my own findings in my classroom.